Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to another PlayStation review. Today's review is for Football Manager 2023 on the PlayStation 5. To my knowledge, it is not available on the PlayStation 4, it is just available on the PlayStation 5. However, if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. Now this has finally got its release on the PlayStation. This was due to be released late last year. However, unfortunately there was a delay, there was something some kind of issue with the game, and Sony, they wouldn't release it, so they had to go away and solve that issue. I don't know what it was, so we've had to wait a little bit to get this on PlayStation, but we've been waiting for a long time for a Football Manager game on PlayStation. It's been so long, and if you've been watching my content for a few years, you know it's been a bone of contention for mine. I've always been complaining and moaning that there's not a decent Football Manager game on PlayStation and it wasn't good enough. Well, we've finally got the daddy Football Manager on PlayStation. And how does it stand up? Well, I have played the recent Football Manager games because I do have an Xbox Series S. So I have been playing the Football Manager games on the Xbox for a while. I hadn't played this version on the Xbox this year because I knew it was coming on PlayStation, so I thought I'd wait. And what can you expect with Football Manager 2023 if you haven't played this game before, or if you haven't played it for a long time? Well, what you get here, as you would expect, is a really in-depth, complex, if you like, Football Manager sim. However, it is quite an accessible Football Manager sim. If you're not one of these managers or tacticians that likes to go into every single detail on a game and like really overanalyze, if you just want to kind of, you know, choose your team, buy a few players and then kind of go to the matches, you can do that. You absolutely can do that, and you can have a fairly successful career at it. But if those of you out there, if you like to really go under the surface, analyze your opponents, and really go to the nth degree of data on your opponents, on your players, on potential players that you're bringing in, your finances, everything that you could imagine, your facilities, it's all here for you to absolutely analyze to your heart's content. If you are that sort of person, this game will cater for you as well. So what I would say is that I certainly have found this game to be really accessible and very enjoyable to play. Now, the first time you put the game on, you do have a number of options. You have your career mode, which is exactly what it sounds. You create your manager, you pick your team, and away you go. Then you have create a club. Again, sounds exactly what it is. You create your own club, and then off you go, and you see how far you can take that club. And then there's a challenge mode. Now, the challenge mode is it gives you like a series of challenges to try and do. You know, you're in like a relegation fight. You've got so many matches to get out of trouble, so on and so forth. So there's then 3 modes for the single players out there. But there's an online mode as well. So you can also have an online career, which is really cool. There is a fantasy draft mode online. And there's a versus mode, which really is, you know, you get your best team and then you challenge other teams online to see who comes out on top, sort of thing. So it will cater really for anybody out there. If you like to play these things online, yeah, you can do that. Or if you like to just kind of basically do what I do, which is do the career mode and just go through multiple years and multiple seasons with your team, then you can do that as well. So everything's here for you guys. Now, when you go into the game, like I say, you can fully create your own manager and customize them to however you want them to look. There are certain achievements to unlock when you're playing the game that will it will make like certain attributes from certain players visible to you if you unlock them, that kind of thing, as you achieve certain things in the game. But essentially you get stuck in, you'll have a look at your team, you determine what formation you want, what tactics you want, and again you can really go into as much depth as you absolutely want to in regards to the tactics. You can kind of leave it as it is excuse me, because it will be set very similar to your team's current tactics to a large degree. So you can go in and you can just completely change it. Do you want a team that's going to be counter-attacking? Do you want a team that's going to really, really press other teams? Do you want to play the long ball? Do you want your wingers to put loads of crosses in? Do you want to play the high line? It gives you all them options, so you can choose however you want to be, and then you can really, really go to town and give like your players instructions and all this kind of stuff. You could use your captain, you could use your vice captain. It's got all them sort of options as well. It's got like media in the game, so you will be requested occasionally to be answering like media questions. Nothing major, it's mainly just one question at a time that you can answer. You will get like queries from your players or from your players' agents, sort of thing, saying that they're unhappy with the player time. You can obviously give your players new contracts. You can put players on the transfer list. You can go into the transfer market. Now, this is where the game will either maybe put some people off. I don't know, because the transfer market is really quite realistic. It's not easy. Some players are just unattainable. You want to go into the game and buy Erling Haaland or Harry Kane, you've no chance, because they are pretty much listed not for sale. Certainly from the games that I've played anyway, but you may be able to get them as the seasons go on. But you kind of get your shortlist together of like your dream players, and then you've got to try and go and get them players. Now that's easier said than done, because you don't have like an endless budget here. Even me going in as Man United manager, you don't start with a huge budget. So you've got to kind of be smart in how you do your transfers, and it actually makes the game a little bit more fun and a little bit more realistic. And then of course you've got the famous match engine, as you can see here, which is easily the best part of the game. Well, it should be as well. It's a football manager game, and it is definitely the best part of the game. It's lovely detailed. You kind of watch a screen, and then when there's a significant highlight to show you, the game will switch to the match engine. You can change it. You can do it however you want, really, the match. You can change the camera angles. You can change it to watch the whole thing. It's up to you, really. There's other things you can do in the match. You can like shout instructions to your player. You can fire them up, try and fire them up, or tell them to focus, all this kind of stuff. You can change the mentality of the team. You can change it to more attacking. You can change it to more defensive. There's a few of them you can do. You can give out instructions to players. If there's somebody's not doing the job well enough, you can give an individual instruction to them. And then obviously you can do tactics and subs as well, and change as the match goes on. And it really does make a difference, you know what I mean? If you're really, really struggling, or if you're like a goal down and there's only 10 minutes to go, if you start shouting instructions to players and changing the mentality of your team, it can make a difference, but not always. So it does feel like it's like a live match that you're involved in, sort of thing, and it doesn't necessarily feel like the result is preordained, so to speak. If you go into the match well prepared, and you will get scout reports on your opponents before you go into the match. You'll get some scout reports that'll say these guys are really good at heading the ball in the box, or it's a tall team. You need to counter that, so it'll recommend maybe playing a different player because they're better at heading than a certain player. So you do get your opponent's strengths and weaknesses, so you can either go in with your own game plan that you've stuck to in previous games, or you can kind of tailor your tactics to counteract your opponent's tactics. So everything's there really for you to be the manager that you want to be, really. There are some licensed stuff in the game. Europa League is licensed. Obviously, all the player names are as they should be. There is some official badges as well, although Man United's badges and quite a few others aren't. But there are some. You might find that your favourite team has got its official badge in the game. The graphics, I think, are really, really fine for a game like this. I think the crowd looks good. I think the stadiums look good. I think the match engine looks good. It's quite enjoyable to watch. You never watch it thinking, oh, I'm not enjoying this, apart from when you're losing, obviously. So, I mean, if you, like me, have been waiting for years to get finally Football Manager back on the PlayStation, then I think you're going to be pretty happy with this. There's no bugs or glitches really to speak of, other than occasionally it will kind of give like it'll give you the wrong number for how many goals the player has scored sometimes. So it does need an odd patch here and there, but it's nothing that breaks the game. It's nothing that breaks the enjoyment of the game or anything like that. I personally am very, very happy with this game. I think it's the game I hoped for on consoles and certainly on PlayStation, and I'm absolutely delighted. And it's one of those games that you will completely lose yourself in if you enjoy it. If you like Football Manager games, you will lose yourself in this game for a long, long time, as it's a lot of fun to play. So for me, it's a strong 8.5 out of 10. It's very, very welcome game to see on the PlayStation. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you found it useful.